MTT2, this is all about the treble and bass clefs. So let's see what this is about. It says, to show exactly which high or low sound to play, each sound has a name. The letters used to name notes are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then they repeat themselves over and over again, higher and higher. And we don't go to H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. We just stop at G. So there are 7 different notes, and then they repeat over and over as they get higher. A treble clef is used for high notes. The little curved line in the middle of the clef curls around the second line where the G note is. That's why it's also called a G clef. But we'll just call it a treble clef. So you can see it here, it comes round that G line there, the second line up, comes up and down like that. So we're going to do some drawing here. So question 1 says, write over the dotted lines to make the treble clef. Draw them as one continuous line. So we'll start in the middle and we go up to the next line, just touching it, come down, and then around to the top, and then down through the center and do a curve. I'll let you finish those. Do them nice and neatly. You get a point for each. And then here we've got it says write 5 treble clefs. Check that the curved line in the middle of the clef curls around the second line. So we've got to start on that second line and curve around it and down and then to the top and then down straight through the middle and then a curve. And then you do 5 of those. You've got to draw those on your own. Okay, that's the treble clef. Next is the bass clef. So a bass clef, otherwise known as an F clef, is used for low notes. The little dots go on either side of the line where F sits. So we don't know about where F is, but I'm telling you now it's on the 4th line from the bottom. So it's like a little ear with 2 dots. So right over the dotted lines like before. So you're going to start on that F line and go up, just touching the top line, come down like that and do the dots. And then you can do that on each of those. You get 5 points. Easy. Then you have to do it yourself. So I'll leave you to do that. Okay, so the next one, next page, middle C. So learning about where middle C is, and if you've had a lesson with me already, then hopefully you'll know where it is on the keyboard, but let's see what it looks like on paper. So middle C is a note like any other. It has the word middle in front of it because it is in the middle of most keyboard instruments. In both the treble and bass clefs, middle C sits on a little line of its own. This line is called a ledger line. Okay, see how it's spelt there? Ledger line. In the treble clef, it is written like this. So treble clef, it's right at the bottom of the stave on a line, a ledger line at the bottom, an extra line at the bottom. But on the bass clef, it's right at the top. So these 2 notes are exactly the same note. They're both middle C, but this one's at the bottom and this one's at the top. Okay? So remember we said that treble clef is for high notes. So treble clef is for notes from middle C and all the way above it, for all these high ones. And bass clef is for notes middle C and below. Okay? So both notes mean middle C and sound the same, like I said. If middle C appears in the treble clef in music for keyboard, the player usually plays it with the right hand. If in the bass clef, the player usually plays it with the left hand. Okay? Now, let's get on with it. So, write 3 middle Cs in the treble clef. So they've done one for you, so you can do 3 more there. So I'll just do 1 for you. So there's a ledger line, and do our note head, and our stem coming up. Okay, that's 1, you need to do another 2. Write 3 middle Cs in the bass clef. So there's 1 at the top, we'll add our ledger line, and then our note head, and then a line coming down, and it's coming down because it's a high note. Okay, so you've got to do 3 more of those. Write in a treble or bass clef to make these notes middle C. So remember, if middle C is at the top, I'll look up here, if middle C is at the top, then it's bass clef. If middle C is at the bottom, then it's going to be treble clef. So this one's done for you. So you can, that's an example. So let's look at this one. It's at the bottom, so what's it going to be? I won't tell you. you can work it out and do these ones as well. So you're going to draw a bass clef or a treble clef here and here and here. Okay, right, so that is MTT2 finished.